So I'm going to pass on over to you, Cynthia.
Unmute myself. Thank you so much. I appreciate your intro. Um, yeah, I don't think gratitude really is the right word for how we feel about this opportunity because I am confident that there's somebody on this call tonight or will watch this replay that by the end of it, their life's going to be changed. I'm certain of that. I had no idea 5.5 years ago that one conversation that I had with someone was going to completely change the trajectory of my life and my kids' life and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. So I'm going to share my screen really quick. I just have some simple slides that I want to share that will keep me on track because yes, I will get super passionate and bird walk tonight. I'm going to try not to do that. So, tonight's presentation is really focused on income with impact and specifically how we change lives and leave a legacy. I have a great great grandfather that I happen to know about his life because he did some incredible things. Um, and he left a legacy. He left a legacy that I've told my children about. They will tell their children about. And my story kind of starts with that desire to leave a legacy. When I found this opportunity, I had been in a 2-year journey with breast cancer. I am a clinical nutritionist, so I use food as medicine as my job. And I specialize in integrative oncology. So the irony there. I did my own program for 2 years. I was raw vegan. I juiced twice a day. I was on 67 supplements. I did 2 to 6 IVs a week. And I had just had a conversation with my doctor because it stopped working. My circulating tumor stem cells had not gone down in 6 months, and I had exhausted all of my natural options for my treatment and was basically going to stop doing my treatment and just live out the rest of my life serving as many people as I could. That was my desire was I wanted to keep as many people from losing their health like I did as possible. And when I was thinking about, what do I want the rest of my life to look like? What's the impact that I want to leave on the world? Um, I didn't know how I could do it by myself. I mean, I was a nutritionist, so I knew I could help people with that, but nobody wants to eat the food that's medicine. And so, as a nutritionist, like I was great at my job, but I couldn't get people to do the things that they wanted to do. And so I was really struggling with how do I leave a legacy? How do I make an impact? How do I make my life worth it? I wasn't meant to run integrative and naturopathic clinics like I had been doing. And so I was really looking at, my life and what it meant. And then I got a call from my little sister who said to me, I've been taking this stuff for like 2 years and I feel like it's really made a difference. I have a ton of energy, my hair's growing faster, and I'm thinking about selling it. Would you look at the science and tell me if it's legitimate? And I'm embarrassed to tell you that I said, if they're going to let a hairdresser sell nutrition products, it's one of those things, and you should not do it. And if the product was that good, I would already know about it because they run this fancy clinic. I'm a nutritionist. And so we kind of bantered back and forth, and she finally convinced me to look at the science. And at this point, I was curious, who's this company that claims they have this amazing product? And I looked at the science, and it was like nothing I'd ever seen in my career. And it was honestly too good to be true. And so I decided as a big sister that I would help my little sister by proving to her that these products didn't work so that she didn't ruin her reputation. And so I started taking it and doing labs on myself and my labs got better. And my circulating tumor stem cells went down for the first time in 6 months. And I don't know if this resonates with any of you, but I am extremely skeptical. And my first thought was, it must have been all the things I did before, because there's no way that these little capsules are making that big of a difference. And so I went off of it because, you do science, you have to do both ways. And I went off of it and my labs got worse. And I'll make this long story short. Um, I couldn't I couldn't prove what I thought I could prove. And after a few more people came into my life and asked me if I knew about Juice Plus, I said I was in, and that was 5.5 years ago. And these people that you see on the screen are just some of the people that I have had the honor of walking beside on this journey. And, thinking back to what my life was like 5.5 years ago. I didn't have my health. I didn't have a purpose. I didn't know how I was going to make an impact to make my life worth it. Um, and now, like these people I do life with, and I'm excited every day, and I have my health back. So for the last 2 years, I've had zero circulating tumor stem cells. Um, I can't make any claims, but the only thing that I do is Juice Plus. Um, I do some extra, so I'll give you that. But yeah, I flood my body with all the goodness, but not just the goodness in our products, but the goodness in our people and the goodness in our opportunity. And as much as our products are incredible, our community and our opportunity to be the best versions of ourselves, I think is really healing also. And so what we do is we inspire healthy living around the world. Um, it is something that I think is a necessity at this point. You never know what's going to happen. We've had a lot of uncertainty in our world in the last few years. And so I would really challenge you to think about how prepared you are for that and maybe how prepared you were previously, because we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. And to have some extra cash on hand is a great idea. Maybe a plan B. Maybe you're on a road that just doesn't feel like it resonates with you. And always, you should position yourself for more possibilities in your life, right? Be able to say yes to more things. And so I'm going to encourage you to take some inventory in your life and ask yourself these questions like, are you in a job that you love? Is your life something that you're enjoying? Are you filling your cup daily? Right? Like I can tell you right now, I was in a hamster wheel of a life before. I had a 2 hour commute one way. I loved what I did, but it was still running a business and I was never filling my cup. I was always focused on just one more week of working hard, just one more week of working hard. And that next week never came. Um, do you have purpose in your life? Do you have a mentor? Is somebody pouring into you and helping you be the best version of yourself? Are you saying yes to the things that you want to say yes to? Are you making change? Are you leaving a legacy? These are all things that are really important. And, even Tony Robbins says that success without fulfillment is the biggest failure. So some people would call this a side hustle. I would say that on my team, we don't hustle at all. We have an amazing time and we are super inspired, but people call this a side hustle. And so why do people say yes to it? Well, maybe you're somebody who needs more money. Maybe you love your job, but you want to do more things. You want to be able to travel more or say yes to more. Or maybe you're in a job that's a dead end, that you don't feel like this is where you're supposed to be, and you want to have the ability to make a choice there. Or maybe you want to just have the flexibility and freedom. I live half time on a Caribbean island. I build my business while I'm here. I can do it anywhere that I am. That's an amazing feeling. Or maybe, if you really calculate out what your living expenses are, maybe you want something that's going to cover that so that you don't ever have to worry about it again. And the reason why what we do is such an amazing opportunity is because there's a big problem right now that we solve. And, I don't know if you've thought about this, but we have more gyms, more access to healthy food, more supplements than we've ever had, and we are sicker than we've ever been. And so, what are the reasons for that? Well, environmental toxins are increasing. We eat the amount of a credit card in plastic every single week. So if we're not getting that stuff out, it's just accumulating. There's a lot of these things that are out of our control, but a lot of it's in our control, the things that we put in and on our body. And then the thing that offsets the toxicity is healthy food. But, there's not a lot of that these days. Most of what we eat is processed. We pick our produce way before it's ripe because it needs to travel on average 1,800 miles before it gets to you. And so, even if you're doing all the right things, the things that I would ask you to do as a nutritionist, our food just doesn't have what it used to have in it. And so, you can see by these statistics, we are really unhealthy. And at the Juice Plus company, we can bridge that gap. So now is the perfect time to join our company. And I say our company because there's nothing else like this on the planet. There is no better quality products that do what these do. Um, we are a global plant food company. We have produce. We have it in capsules, we have it in chewables, we have it in powder form with protein, and we have the ability to grow it with our tower gardens. And, from a business perspective, why now? Health and wellness is a big business. And in a huge sea of people that are trying to sell supplements and other things that might look like Juice Plus, we are the company with the science. We are the company with a heart. We are the company with integrity. And health and wellness isn't going anywhere. You can see that it's going to be a $7 trillion industry by 2025. So now is definitely the time. What makes us different? As I said, nothing matches our quality and integrity. We're as close to nature as possible. You can see we're all the freeze. We test every single batch, so we make sure it doesn't have any contaminants in it. And as Lauren said, we are free for kids between the ages of 4 and 25. Again, the thing that got me was the clinical studies. It's not just my opinion, it's not just my story. And Juice Plus doesn't need your permission to work in your body. We've got all of these studies that show it definitely affects your health in a positive way. So we just bridge the gap in your health. We're the thing that everybody needs, and nobody has. And so now is definitely the best time. You can see here our amazing tower gardens. You can grow your own food. We have a curriculum for kids to use the tower garden with you and learn about how important food is and how to grow it. And then we are the best of all the types of sales. We use the best pieces of all of these models. So direct sales, because we're word of mouth, but you don't need to have inventory, you don't need to ship. Corporate does all that for you. We are the best of network marketing because we can leverage a team and make a bigger impact together. But you don't have to have monthly minimums. You don't need to have orders that you place personally every single month. And then franchising, because you own your own business, you are your own boss. You work for yourself, but not by yourself. But instead of paying $250,000 for a franchise like Subway, you pay $52 a year. And actually, in February, it's only $10. And then corporate America. So we are the only company that offers full medical, dental, vision, long-term disability, tuition reimbursement, all of the good things, just like you work for a corporation, but without a boss and competition. So I know that's a lot to digest. You could definitely check in with the person who invited you to dig a little bit more into those things, but I want to hand it off to Maris from Paris, who I get the honor to work with and play with and travel with and inspire with. So I am going to hand it off to you, Maris.
Thank you, Cynthia. Good evening, everybody. So my name is Maris from Paris. I'm actually half French, half Greek, and now I live in Austin, Texas. And I had the pleasure to meet Cynthia back in May of last year, and it was a kind of a crazy fate moment. We met on Instagram, believe it or not. And since that moment, it was a pivotal moment in my life. Why? Because I used to be a professional dancer, So I had a career, I did all these amazing things. I was on tours, I did movies, and I had, and then I became a mother. So I had a great career. And then me and my husband started having, we opened lots of businesses. Leo wants to be part, my cat wants to be part of it all the time. We opened lots of businesses. We've sold businesses. We were in the real estate. But when I met Cynthia and she spoke to me about Juice Plus and Tower Garden, it only made sense for me to join the business. Why? Because as Cynthia said, a franchise, I believe the lesser amount of money we've ever spent on any business was for our a crypto hedge fund, and it was just $40,000 just on legal fees. Every time so I would say your income is like investing. You want to diversify it. You probably hear, if you have how do you call that, a business manager or a accountant, like an accountant that's going to help you, tell you what to do with your, not an accountant, how do you call that? Financial advisor. Oh my goodness. Financial advisor will always tell you, don't put your eggs in the same basket. You have to diversify your investment. And I believe you need to do the same thing with income. Why? We're all seen what happened during the pandemic, and also lots of people that are being fired, and it's very, and businesses have closed. And so when you have different stream of income, it's just the smart thing to do. So whether right now you're unemployed, whether you already run your own company, or whether you're employed somewhere, it's always good to have, as Cynthia was talking about, the side hustle, just because you never know when tomorrow can be made of. And like I said, like when you open your own business, you have to have money up front for build out, for marketing, if it's an e-commerce, just for inventory alone. And so when I found out it was $52 a year, which I always say it's cheaper than a mani-pedi, it was really a no-brainer, just because I'm a frugal person, I'm a frugal French person, and I wanted to have, just a discount at least on the product that I was going to use. But then it became more than that, because I realized just by sharing it, Juice Plus is what we call a reliable income, because it's not something that someone is going to buy one time. When people start realizing the effect and the benefits they get from it out of their health, it becomes an essential expense. Just like your rent, your gas, your car, it becomes an essential expense. And so that will become a recurring expense from your customers. And that is reliable and recurring income for you as well. And coming from being a dancer in the artist world, we have such an inconsistent stream of income. Like sometimes we work a lot, and sometimes we have 3 jobs at the same time, and we have to turn that jobs, and sometimes for 4 months, nothing happens. Just with the pandemic alone, then there was the writer's strike. Then, and what if there's an injury? When you're a dancer, if you can't dance, you can't work. If you can't work, you don't eat. And so to me, it became very, it was a responsibility, one, to share the product with people because I felt what it did for me. And 2, it was a responsibility for me to share the business, because to have that stream of income, and I don't know if you saw at the beginning, the first slide, it said income with impact. That's when the word purpose hit me. It was so important, not just to make money, but the best part of it is, yes, you have your checks every month, but when you have your customers who tell you, oh my goodness, my kids haven't had the sniffles since they've started Juice Plus, or my neighbor coming and telling me, oh my goodness, I can finally go on tour with my husband. I have the energy, and I feel like myself again, like in tears. These are the best part of this business, is you're making money by changing people's lives for the better. So that's really why it was a no-brainer for me and my husband when we decided to join Juice Plus. So this is a little bit of why I joined, and why, I think if you want to make an impact in people's life, and why not get paid for it, this is definitely the company to join and to get your franchise. And the timing is so amazing. I think it's $10 until this month to join. So that's less than 2 Starbucks. So I would say just jump on it. Thank you so much, Cynthia and Lauren.
Maris, I am gonna hand it over now to Monet. Are you there, Monet?
I am here. Can you hear me?
I can.
All right, awesome. So like Maris, I was actually a professional dancer too. I danced for probably 17 years or so. And I feel like health and fitness is kind of a natural go-to for dancers because we're so into movement and feeling good, and we beat our joints up and we have to repair it all. And I have 3 kids. So as my 3 kids became school age and I wanted more time with them and not necessarily working at nights, I actually went into personal training and I became ACE certified, and I wanted to work with moms. So I got a specialization in pre and postnatal health. And as I started working with those moms, I realized that they were so confused nutritionally, and really probably I was too. You know, as a dancer, there's different reasons that you eat for. It's not always perfect health, right? And when I had kids, it was a little different. I wanted to eat for perfect health, but I realized that they were confused and they were emotional. And so then I went to the Dr. Sears Wellness Institute and got certified in family nutrition. And I think my AirPods just, can you still hear me? Okay. I got certified in family nutrition and then also in pre and postnatal nutrition as well. And I actually heard about Juice Plus when I went to the Dr. Sears Institute because he talks about it, he advocates for it. But I did not join and I did not recommend it for many years past. And fast forward, I've been doing this for a long time, COVID hits, and I started to go online with my personal training. And I developed virtual programs. And when I developed these virtual programs, and I was working with all moms still, my mission really was if I can get moms healthy, they usually like healthy in the right way, they usually get those kids healthy, and then we can just have that better tomorrow. Because of course, having kids, you see how nutrition affects their brain and their learning ability and all of that stuff. So, so when I went online and I developed a program for moms and I'm coaching nutrition, and it's different than when you're coaching in person, because you coach in person and it's like you see them once a week, twice a week, maybe. We're online, I'm holding them accountable every single day. And so I know what they're actually eating and what they're not, because they're logging or they're checking off habits. I do habit coaching and wellness coaching. And I went, gosh, this is really hard to get them to eat what they are supposed to eat. And so I knew about Juice Plus, and I actually knew that a friend of mine who is also a doctor, she's a naturopathic doctor, Dr. Kimberly Karuna, sold this in her practice. So I called her and I said, hey, can I send some people to you? They need this. And I didn't want to recommend it because I didn't want to compromise my integrity. I didn't want them to think I was trying to make more money off of them. So I really wanted to send them to her. And she said, Monet, you're being ridiculous. Join the family, join this Juice Plus family. It's amazing. We'll all rally around your clients and it's going to be better. And so she talked me into it. I did. Not all of my clients got on Juice Plus right away, but I can tell you that I saw a huge difference in the ones who decided to get on Juice Plus versus the ones who did not. Their body just started working for them. And honestly, I wasn't really planning on taking it myself because I thought, I'm healthy, I do it all. And really, the more I learned and the more research, I went, oh, this is for me too. Like, even though I have great habits and I eat well, do I eat perfectly every day? No, it's like, I need what Cynthia would have said, a nutritional seatbelt. And so do my kids. The fact that the kids got it for free, I went, okay, I guess I'm going to buy it too. So that's how I really got into it. And then Cynthia starts talking to me about these programs, and we start doing some programs together, which also really worked in harmony with my business as well. Because even though I had my own personal programs, you know, they'd be 12 weeks long, and then I'd continue building workouts for women, but I didn't necessarily keep coaching them in nutrition, and people need accountability. And so she introduced me to the Shred 10, and I had to kind of sit back first and watch it and make sure it wasn't anything different than what I've told them, because I didn't want it to be contradictory. And it was great. It's developed by a doctor. And so then I got to, after they would finish my programs, I got to put them in the Shred 10 program that would hold them accountable 10 days out of every month. They'd have other people pouring into them that also would keep them accountable and give them more life to, to that goal. And I realized, you know, if any trainers are on this, how how it worked well, not only did it give them better results, which is always good for your business, but accountability later, as I connected with these people that would advertise these Shred 10 programs, like we partnered with Nikki, who I don't think is on this call, but she's brilliant at coming up with these different themes that make it fun, that make it fresh, even though great nutrition is the same 1 month to the next, but it's great to make it fresh and have that kind of new goal. And so then I'd get to advertise with that, and that worked in both ways. I advertise those things and people call me, yeah, I want to do that, but wait, don't you do more? Yep, I do more. And so then I got to also, some of my clients get fed into the Juice Plus business, and some of my Juice Plus clients also get fed into my training business. So that's been amazing. I'm also a group exercise coach. And while it is super fun and I love it, if there's any group exercise coaches on here, it's a labor of love. You do not make money. You get to work out, so that's great. You get paid to work out, but you really don't make very much money. So it's been a nice addition to that as well. I've had a few women from the gym that see my stuff online, ask me and sign up. And actually, I don't think I've told you this yet, Cynthia, because I just got this message. I had 2 women that have done the Shred twice now, and they have done tons of programs before. I got this awesome message that this is the first program that has ever worked for them. They lost pounds, and not only pounds, but they said mental clarity. They had this amazing mental clarity and a good mood, said their mood totally changed. And I was super stoked. I was like, okay, I asked them, what do you think is different? Why do you think that is? And they said a couple things. They said, I wasn't in my head. I didn't have to count calories, didn't have to count macros. So it just became habits. And then those habits that you focused on for 10 days, rather than, throwing it all out the window, it just was natural to keep most of them going. So 2 months later, they feel like it's totally changed. And because they bridged that gap with the supplements that they didn't take before. So I just can't say enough about the awesome program and how it works in harmony with anybody who's in the fitness business. But then I will go to the next level that you don't even have to be in the fitness business. I got the wonderful opportunity to go to Level Up, which was this conference that was in Las Vegas, which was so awesome because I used to live in Las Vegas. I got to see all my friends too, but I also got to meet people that I've worked with, like Cynthia, for years that I have never actually met in person, and Maris, and we had so much in common, and we just had a blast together. And the online, training was lonely, to be honest. Like, I connect with my clients, but it was so nice to have a team rallying around you with the same mission. And we even got to do some in-person events there and invite people that we knew there. We did a sourdough party. Cynthia talked about gut health. We educated. And as we educated, we got to change lives there too. So I'm now realizing how much fun it is to do with a team of people, even in person. So while I saw it as a supplement to my business before, I'm now seeing it as the forefront of my business because it is lucrative. Like Maris had said, it's like, you're selling something that's habitual for somebody. So that residual income is awesome. And it was so great to hear people speak, and not just people that were in the wellness industry, people that were in marketing or moms or dancers, people that just want that freedom in life and that schedule. And I've seen so many successful, I think the Mom Network is huge because of the support that we do for children. So I've seen a lot of moms that just really blow this business up because they can be home with their kids. They end up having that network of moms to share it with, and they know they're doing something good. So I'm certainly glad I said yes to this business, and certainly glad that I ended up meeting the people that I've met. But when I went to that Juice Plus conference, it really is, it's the whole company. It's not just the people that I've met. The whole company is really a beautiful thing to be a part of. And that's it. Sorry if that was super long-winded. I have a lot of passion about it too.
I love it so much, Monet. And it's so amazing that we can work together all over the world, but because our hearts are so connected in what we're doing together, it is a family, and it's not like anything I've ever been a part of before. And the fact that we get to make money for impacting people's lives just blows me away. I'm so grateful that I get to work with you, Monet, and so glad that you stuck with me. I talked about me being skeptical. Monet was definitely skeptical too. So we definitely connect on that level. But man, once you're in, you're all in. And that is a great segue to introduce you to Tom, who is one of the most servant-hearted people I've ever met. And I am so, so grateful that he said yes to this business. I'm going to hand it over to you, Tom. Tell us what you do.
Well, thanks, Cynthia. You're sweet. So, so unlike Monet and Maris, I'm not a dancer. Just so you know, my wife and I actually launched a charity, a nonprofit, a few years ago called Backpack Friends. And just to give you a quick thumbnail, in the US, 1 out of every 5 kids doesn't have food to eat when they're away from school on the weekends. And in Texas, that's 1 out of 4, because in Texas, we always have to do bigger and better, which is in that case worse. But so we launched this nonprofit, and I tell people it's like the emergency room, right? These kids have nothing to eat, so we need to give them something. And that was rocking along. We were doing our thing. We were growing. The pandemic hits, all that stuff. Then I have this conversation. I run into Cynthia at a networking thing, and she starts talking to me about Juice Plus, and I'm like, yeah, I've heard of it. I'm not interested. Then she mentions this thing called a tower garden. And I am intrigued because we're feeding all these kids, and we're feeding thousands of kids, right? And we're giving them something, but we're not giving them the best that we can give them. And so our nonprofit is beginning to transition. We've sort of launched this new program last year, but we're now putting tower gardens into schools and creating school tower farms, which is super exciting because all the things. The produce we're buying at the store is not the same as what we're growing in tower garden. It's more nutrient dense. It runs on less soil, no soil, less water, no bugs, all of those things, and we're changing the trajectory of a child's life. We're changing it generationally because we're teaching kids the importance of nutrition. We're teaching them the importance of the food they eat versus the food they get in a package, in a bag, or in a box. And so that's kind of how I came into the Juice Plus world, was through Tower Garden. And I'll be honest with you, I too was cynical about Juice Plus products. I thought, that's not really my thing. I'm not in the fitness space. I'm just a guy who helps feeds kids and lugs cases of Gatorade every week out of a truck and stacks the warehouse. And I can tell you, I've been on the products now. Somebody told me that they wanted I needed to be a product of the product. Give it a shot. And I can tell you, after a year and a half, I'm 57. I'm not on any medication. I can't make any promises, but I'm on 0 medications. I'm in the best shape I've been in my life. I'm the healthiest I've been. And it's funny, I work with a lot of men who are also skeptical. I got a message from a guy named David, who's 62. He's been on Juice Plus for about 2 months, and he wrote me this message in tears. He's 62, and he said, "I'm finally back in the gym doing things I never thought I would do again." His mental clarity is better. He's lost weight. His knees don't hurt anymore. And so I come at this from a sense of, I love the passion. I love the purpose. I love the impact of being able to change people's lives. I mean, if I could say anything, I would say, number one, as a business, I've never been involved in a business that was so passionate about serving people and improving someone else's life. We improve our lives. We get paid on things. That's a byproduct. That's the byproduct of just trying to serve people and help them live and help them thrive. So if you're considering this at all, I would say now's the time. I haven't been a part of anything that has been this kind of family. We call each other family. We refer to each other, "Hey fam, how you doing?" Because the community has been a game changer for me. So that's it. I can't say enough good about it, and other than I'm not a dancer.
Wow.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. I just have a couple more slides and I will be done. So again, you can reach out to the person who invited you, who will go through this list with you about how we are set apart from some of the other direct sales companies. I will tell you, we are the best. I'm a little biased, but and it's a lot easier to get started than you think. You will get a link from the person who invited you. You pay $10 this month, and then you become a product of the product and you just share your story. And if you're on this call, you are here because you're looking for something more than what you currently have. And if that's more purpose, more passion, more community, more income, or more health, you're here for a reason. And so I am going to ask you where you see yourself. Do you see yourself as a customer? Maybe you heard a story tonight that you went, wow, me too. I need that. Or maybe you heard that and you thought of somebody else who needs it. Maybe you are considering becoming a partner and you want to see what this is all about. I mean, for $10, it's kind of crazy not to. And you could offset the cost of your own Juice Plus or your own Tower Garden or both. Or you could build a business like the people that you heard from tonight that are on my team. And you can build it a little bit, you can build it medium, or you can build it a lot. It's totally up to you. But again, please contact the person who invited you, learn a little bit more, even if you're just like this much curious. Do yourself a favor. It could change the financial future of you and your children. So that is all I have for tonight. I appreciate you all spending your evening with us, and I will hand it back.
Well, thank you so much, Cynthia and everyone. It was a fabulous call. And just thank the person who invited you. If you want to know more, like Cynthia said, make sure you reach out to them. And we will see you next week.